Hello, and welcome back again. So now we are still going into our little adventure. Um, we will still be using Old Albanian to try and decipher, in this part, Greek gods. But before we do that, I need to explain that um, they were not viewed as gods. Okay, this is very important. We have the ideas behind these concepts, these names will be revealed to you as different aspects of God. God was, our ancestors were very spiritual. They did not separate creation. They viewed creation as having different aspects, but it was not different gods, meaning that each of these names that I will explain to you were different aspects of God and not different gods. The reason we have that misconception is because we have interpreted our ancient history through a modern lens, and the modern lens is pretty much insufficient, and not only insufficient, but it is erroneous. And you don't have to believe me. I am not here to score any points. This is not a political or it's not driven by anything political or nationalistic in any sense or way. I am only after the truth of life, of my being, of who I am. So also the development of our languages. So as you will come to realize, Greek is incomplete without Albanian, and Albanian is incomplete without Greek. All languages are important and significant in our development, but as they all portray and represent different aspects of our development. But our languages are very old, and the more back we go, the closer we get to the understanding of our ancestors in terms of reality, and what they viewed reality as is very different from our own understanding today. So our whole body of knowledge in terms of ancient Greek and ancient mythology is pretty much based on the interpretation of modern people. So that's why we get these psychic and magical interpretations, while in truth they were not that. They were different aspects of God. And we will get to see why. So let's go on. Let's go on with the first god. A little disclaimer as well. I haven't gone into the chronology of this, so I have just chosen the names that I found that correspond, that are can be corroborated through other dictionaries, so that you can always check my findings and come to the same conclusions. Okay. But I haven't put this in a chronological sense in terms of the tales, okay? But I will. I did find a lot of things whilst doing this. So yeah, going back, we have Kronos. Kronos also, as you can see, is very close to the actual word creation. He stands also as the father, the male principle. Okay, so not father, not a god per se, but the male principle, the masculine principle of life. Remember, or not remember, but they viewed God as life, the absolute. So the absolute could not be described. So these are just the different descriptions of different aspects of the absolute. Yeah. So that's why we got the father, but here we also have the Albanian word kron, which still stands unchanged and means source, spring. Os means is, and will mean it in many, many, many words henceforth. Okay, I have also explained it in a slide further down, that we will see this word evolve and change, but it will still mean the same thing. Now we go on to the next one. We have then Rhea. In the mythology, we hear that Kronos and Rhea were married. So interestingly enough, Rhea in Albanian still means bride, but it means more things. It stands as the mother, the feminine principle of God, and is. We also find the words Rhea, Rhea, and Rhe, which means rhythm, stream, move, dance, wave. Okay, so we then get a stream from the spring, from the source itself. So Kronos came first, then came Rhea, and then we hear in the mythology from them two came Zeus, Zeus, as you would say in English. But we have multiple meanings here as well. Here we find the sound or voice, and us, as I explained in the previous one. We have down here us, Ushtë, 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 Ishtë, and they all mean is in different tenses. Okay, so you will find this in a lot of different European words, European languages, as s, is, os, and English is. Yeah, in German ist, and in the Nordic language, us became r, ar, r. Okay, so yeah, that's a bit language development for you. But we go on. We have the Albanian equivalent. Zot still means the same thing. His voice, his sound. Zoti. Greek equivalent. Theos. Albanian breakdown. The speech, voice. Os is. Okay. Same word. Same word. We have only a phonetical, meaning a sound change, but the semantic is the same. Okay, so with Zeus, the voice came also. I have to go a bit further down because I discovered this chronology whilst I was making it. But then, so now we're going straight to Hestia, Hestia, which means I'll just put in the god here in the different slides just to remind you that that's how they're viewed. But in current knowledge, okay, so in Wikipedia, if you go to Greece, and then they will tell you, oh, it's the god of no, but it's not really. It's just stillness. So you can just remove god of and just have the actual reality of the idea. So the idea here is that Hestia is stillness and remains unchanged even to this day. Hestia means exactly stillness in Albanian. So the myth was that this is what I discovered, which I put in here. So Hestia was this swallowed by Kronos while Zeus escaped. Okay, so stillness was swallowed by Father while sound escaped. So sound is in creation as alive, and Hestia is not as stillness. Quite beautiful. This was a very beautiful finding for me. And it goes on and on. So let's go further on then. We have then Hades, Hades, as you would say in English, which is rather... you will come to see that this has a full etymological explanation in Albanian, and you still find the word ha, and des eats death. Pretty much self-explanatory. We do not find etymological accounts for these names in Greek, so there is a mix-up of understanding here. What happened here with this part of history? Was it Albanian? Was it Greek? Was it in something in between? Was this intermediate stage where Albanian became Greek or Greek became Albanian, or this development? We don't know. So I don't know either. I'm just discovering. But I am seeing that Albanians seem to be much older because it is monosyllabic, which is also how the first languages, symbolic languages, were created. They were monosyllabic. Okay, and I found out that Linear B Greek can be deciphered using Albanian, but that will be a different video. Okay, so the Greeks here will probably hate me, but I don't care because we are after the truth. And if this can be substantiated, then obviously it is the truth, and this is not something I have any opinions about. Now let's go on. Poseidon means exactly what it means. Still, in English today, possession. It means possession, and it represents thus possession itself, and not God of possession. Okay, so and reflects the myth of Poseidon as the aspect of possession in God's material world, as also depicted in the sea, where all the sea that possesses all things. Okay, so the sea possesses life or possesses things. Okay, we go on. We have then Athene, so the capital of Greece itself, and she was known as the goddess of wisdom, and literally means exactly that to this day. We find that A has been, the is said, is spoken, has said, has been spoken, the speech, the word, the saying. That's pretty much what it means in Albanian, and refers to the word as being the wisdom. So there we go. We explained what it meant step by step. And then we have Hera or Era, and even in English, era, it means exactly that. So she was the goddess of time, but obviously she was not a goddess, she was just time itself. And era here means wind, air, right? Time, season, and era. Had is an Albanian saying meaning time and time again. Had. Okay. Let's go on. Atalanta. So this is quite funny. We do find a strange Greek word here. She was a heroine and equal in weight according to Greek. But in Albanian, we do find something else. According to the monosyllabic words of this name, we find at, lan, te. Okay? Or we could just say at, lan, ta. We can also use ta. It's still the same. And we get the meaning, the one left behind, the abandoned one. At, he, she, lan, left, te, ta, there. Yeah, there. So he, she left there. He, she was left there. And it corresponds to the myth, the actual story of Atalanta, as the one being abandoned by gods for being a woman. She, as the god, wanted a male. Yeah, there you go. Full etymological explanation that is not found in Greek. And I'm just so tired of the whole political thing between Greek and Albanian. It's political, the historical thing, you know. So, but I'm tired of it. I want to get to the truth of it, and I don't want politics or powers or interests to color our common history, because it is our common history, whether we like it or not. So, let's go on. Sorry, I just have to stretch a bit. We have then Apollo, the famous name Apollo, and still very misunderstood today. God of sun and rebirth. Again, remove God, so we only have actually sun and rebirth. And here too, we have different multiple meanings. We find a, he, po, is, and lon, playing. So he is playing, or apelon, apelon, apelo. Even to say that apelo, to say that fast could sound like Apollo, but it actually in today's Albanian still means is birthing, 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 birthing. Yeah, so giving birth, giving rise. So what is giving rise or what is rising? The sun. So that is what it means. So God is always rising, and I God, I mean the sun. The sun is always rising, so that's why it means that. Okay, and then we go to the last slide, and then here we have Hermes. Hermes, right? Okay, Hermes is not the actual word, according to. Oh, I didn't see that my letters have been crossed out here. According to linear Greek, we do find these sounds, e, ma, a, and according to the semantics we find of monosyllabics in Albanian, we find he, she, or it, or yeah, ma holds, carries, ma, mon, mba, still to this day, we say the same thing. And a, God, it, that. He, she holds God or it or that. So that is what we actually find using Albanian. Today, you can go into Wikipedia and you can find several meanings, and all of them are not agreeing with each other. They're even saying that this god predates Hellenistic culture. So, so clearly there is no understanding what is going on here. But we just uncovered it together, you and I. But we do have multiple meanings, other meanings as well. We do find Amr, which means name, or Erme, which means holds breath or breathes. And then we find Germ or Erm, letter, character, which is also what he was known for, because he was the god of speech or communication. So, well, the speech also is synonymous with breathing and letters and character and also name. So all of them is, and it is what is being held. So there you go. A full etymological explanation of gods, Greek gods that previously is unknown to most people, except now you too. You know it. So that's that for now. Okay, so you guys have a good evening and see you next time.